don't forget to click that subscribe button to become a member of the Bit Squad. For the month of December, we're giving away a Nano Ledger S sponsored by Nimic. Make sure you guys like and comment on all of our videos in December to get the maximum number of entries. Hello Bit Squad, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about a couple quick news stories involving some exchanges and then a look at Monarch token. And then we're also going to be talking about some short-term bullish news and maybe some long-term bullish news for Bitcoin being able to compete with gold. And this news is really out there. So, okay guys, a quick look at the markets. As you guys can see right now, it's coming in at almost 109 billion. We've got a little bit of a bounce. It was actually down more than that earlier. Bitcoin dominance is at 54.7%. Bitcoin hovering around 3,400 right now. A lot of people are taking out shorts. We've already talked about that in our video yesterday about how when everybody seems to think it's going short, it might go up. So, you know, maybe we have that going on. Tether is now in the top 5. It is a little bit ahead of both Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV. They're really going back and forth for that, 6-7 spot, or at least dominance between the Bitcoin Cash forks. So some things have bounced today, gotten a little bit of green. We got Tezos is up 10.89%. We've got Factum up 12%, which was on quite a tear before we had this dip. Tron is up about 3%, Cardano about 3.5%, EOS up 7.29%, and Stellar up almost 6%. So we have some that have gotten some decent bounces, but really the crash the last couple days has really hurt a lot of people. So, okay guys, a quick look at the news. We have Bitthumb over November, very interesting news. It actually overtook Binance as the biggest exchange in the world. We'll have to see what happens in December and whether or not Binance is once again able to regain control of the #1 overall exchange. The interesting thing about this, though, is Bitthumb is a South Korean exchange, and I talked about before how I believe that South Korea is kind of ahead of the curve at this point with legislation and allowing blockchain, and so it doesn't surprise me that this exchange, Bitthumb, is flourishing. Bithumb, which is a token I reviewed and that I told you guys I was going to invest in, and then I did. It's actually been my bag with the biggest gains over the last couple of weeks. Despite the fact the market has crashed, I'm still actually positive since I bought that. So, of course, do your own research, not financial advice, yada, yada, yada. I don't care if you buy it or not, but it's definitely one to look into. And I kind of explained the perfect storm involving the South Korean government and legislation and Bithumb and where it fits into that. So honestly, this doesn't surprise me, and it shouldn't surprise you either if you've been watching the channel. So, okay, then we have Monarch token. So we got an update on this. As you guys know, this is the only ICO I've ever put my own money into. I've said it many times before. And Robert Beatles is the president. Snay is the CEO of the company. Both two guys that I know and respect a lot. A lot of people in the crypto space do respect both of them. Now, the cool thing about this is they now announced that they're going to have fiat pairings and the debut of Monarch Pay. So what Monarch Pay is in my opinion, the coolest thing about this entire wallet, which is you're actually able to pay bills with your cryptocurrency. Like you want your Netflix to be paid with crypto, you can do that. It's got an option for that. So definitely something to continue to watch with Monarch. It seems like they're doing a lot more than most people, in my opinion, most projects in this bear market. And they've done a really good job of continuing to grow and get partnerships. They've got the former founder of LinkedIn now working on their team and things like that. So, so much to like about this project. And, this is one I'm definitely going to keep looking at, just not because I invested in it, because they do have so much going on that is positive. So then I found this article, which was very interesting. It kind of, echoed what I said yesterday in our video, which is Fear in Crybabies, the Bitcoin bottom is near is the name of the article. And basically this explains how back last year, it's so crazy how this year mirrors last year, except in Bizarro world.
He's reliable, he's considerate, he's like your exact opposite.
So he's Bizarro Jerry.
Bizarro Jerry?
Yeah, like Bizarro Superman. Superman's exact opposite, who lives in the backwards Bizarro world. Up is down, down is up. He says hello when he leaves, goodbye when he arrives.
So like last year, Bitcoin could do no wrong, crypto could do no wrong, the price was going up, it was impossible to lose money, and now we look back and the Bitcoin panic hysteria has set in, and it's like everything you read about Bitcoin right now, it seems to be negative, especially from the mainstream media, and it seems like last year when the opposite was true and everybody was saying buy, 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 that was when everybody should have been selling. And this year, everybody's saying, sell, panic, get out, get out. And maybe this is when would be a good time to buy. So, okay, guys, so check this out. Here are some fundamentals that are explaining why this year, even though the panic and the hysteria is here, Bitcoin's fundamentals are much stronger. I thought this one was very interesting. I had never heard of this. Bitcoin has survived its 10th year, a fact that the Lindy effect would predict a high probability of another 10 years of survival at least. So if you don't know what the Lindy effect is, it's basically involved with technologies and some other areas of business that says that your half-life kind of explains where you'll be in the future. So if your business has managed to make it 5 years, then there's a great probability you'll make it to 10 years. If your technology has made it 20 years, then there's a great chance that you're going to make it another 20 years. So with Bitcoin, it's just hit 10 years, and that gives it a high probability of making it 10 more years. So very interesting. Then it talks about forking and how it's extremely expensive to move off of the chain of Bitcoin. Talked about custody, institutional custody coming in, and then the solutions to the network problems of Lightning, the Lightning network that are supposed to continue to increase and grow. So I just thought it was very interesting looking at how this year is so much different from last year. And we're going to be talking about next week. I'm going to do a video on Backed. And there's been a lot of news regarding, or a lot of hysteria surrounding futures contracts and the CME and the CBOE contracts last year and how those have been extremely detrimental to crypto. And some of that is true for sure. A lot of people have been making videos about it. On the flip side, though, it seems like Backed could actually be the savior to those futures contracts. So don't count futures contracts out just yet as being a terrible thing for crypto. There's one key difference between the CBOE and CME futures contracts and the Backed futures contracts that means that these could actually be really good for crypto. So we're going to talk about that next week in a video, so make sure you stay tuned for that. So, okay, guys, I want to talk about this because this is, while we just talked about some kind of short-term bullish news, this is long-term bullish news. If you're a person that believes that Bitcoin is going to take over gold as the premier hedging asset in the world, I guess would be a good way to say that. And I believe that. I've really shifted from thinking it's going to be more of a crypto or more of a currency, which still is a possibility, to it actually is going to be more of a store of value. And I know people say like, oh, it's store of value, it lost 80 to 90%, but we're talking about a long-term hold here. And so one of the things that makes gold not nearly as good, in my opinion, as Bitcoin is that Bitcoin has a fixed supply, right? With 21 million is a total supply, max supply. We won't get there until 2140. We'll all be dead, but it will get there at some point. And in my opinion, we've never seen an asset like this in the world before, where you know exactly how much there is and there's a finite supply. So the interesting thing here is we're now beginning space exploration for gold. A 700 quintillion asteroid ignites space mining gold rush between Mars and Jupiter. Now, this is actually back from February, so this is not a super recent story, but I've been hearing a little about this asteroid mining, and I wanted to share it with you guys because this could be something that could absolutely separate Bitcoin from gold in the future. Now, hypothetically, there is an asteroid floating out there in between Mars and Jupiter. Hypothetically, if we were to be able to get that asteroid, it has enough gold and precious metals to give everyone in the world $92 billion each.
I'm really rich. I'll show you that in a second.
So obviously that's not really true, because if we brought in all that gold, it would basically crash the gold economy, which is my point. There is a way to crash the gold economy by bringing in more gold, and the more we find floating in outer space, then the more likely that's going to happen. Now, hold your horses if you think this is going to happen tomorrow. The first mission is actually going to be in 2022 to be able to go out there and explore how we can possibly get it in here. And we're really probably looking at 25 years down the road before we're going to be able to actually start bringing this gold in from outer space. However, the prospects of this happening in the future, it really devalues gold as a hedge, in my opinion. So as we move a little closer to that, and depending on what this report comes out in 2022 and says how we can get this gold, then that may actually start to decline the price of gold, and we might see more people jumping over to Bitcoin because it has a finite supply.
I want to know where to go. I want to go. Give me the gold. I want the gold.
So very interesting. I think this is absolutely crazy when this is going to start happening. We're like moving towards the future so rapidly. Actually, with every second, we're moving closer to the future, if that's possible. But it's just really crazy to think of where we are right now and where we are going to be in 25 years. We're talking about Elon Musk going to Mars. We're talking about mining asteroids. It all seems like something out of the Jetsons. But hey, you know, we're bound to get there one day, so why not in our lifetimes? I think it would be pretty cool to watch that happen. I love science and technology, and I love when it kind of overlaps with crypto. I think that's really cool. So you guys let me know about this. Are you guys down with gold mining in space? Are you guys going to get your inspector hat and your pickaxe and head out there? I want to know. Let me know. Anyways, guys, that's all I got today. Thanks for watching. BitBoy out.